Hey there, congratulations and welcome to this free training video on the 5 best muscle building exercises for men over 40. My name is Dr. Anthony Balduzzi. I'm a men's health doctor and fat loss and muscle building expert, specifically for guys over 40, and the founder of the Fit Baller Project. And in this video, you and I are going to cover the 5 best muscle building exercises that you absolutely must include into your routine. But more importantly, I'm going to show you how to make these 5 muscle builders safe for your shoulders, your knees, and your low back, because that's an extremely important aspect of building muscle for men over 40. So in this video, we have a couple goals. You're gonna be with me here in my private gym. We're gonna tour around and go through all the muscle building exercises so you know the exact form and what to do. And I'm also gonna tell you about our old school muscle building program, which is our muscle building program specifically for guys over 40 that'll help you pack on mass with the proper training, nutrition, and recovery methods. Sound good? Let's dive on into the first exercise. I know you're gonna learn a ton. Buckle on up.
FitBallerProject.com.
All right, so exercise number 1 is the bench press. Now here you can see a traditional barbell setup, but this is actually an exercise that you should ditch if you're over 40, because although the barbell bench is a great mass builder for your chest, for your shoulders, your triceps, using the bar itself and the barbell actually puts a lot of unnecessary stress on aging shoulders. And if you have any problems with any of your rotator cuff muscles or just any degenerated cartilage, which we all have when we're over 35 and our joints start to wear, the barbell bench press creates unnecessary stress on your joints when we want to be taxing your muscles. So instead, here's what we're going to do. We are going to be doing dumbbell bench press instead. All right, so the dumbbell bench press is our much safer and still incredibly effective alternative to the barbell bench press for our shoulders when we're over 40. Now, here's one modification that almost no one talks about that makes this exercise so much more effective and safe for your shoulders. We are gonna put the bench on a slight decline. You can see here, it's propped up with a pair of some small weights. And what we wanna do is create a slight, about 10% decline on the bench. So just the slightest decline. And what that does is it opens up the front of the shoulder girdle. See, our scapula, which is your shoulder blade, which sits on the back of your shoulder, has a piece of it that comes around the front called your acromion. And the acromion process has a hook on it. And that hook digs down into your shoulder. And if your scapula moves forward like this and your shoulder rolls forward, it creates impingement in the front of the shoulder. And for a lot of guys, when we have pain when we're doing pressing motions, that's because we have impingement in the front of the shoulder. By putting the bench on a decline like this, even 10%, it opens that shoulder up. So we're pressing at a more advantageous angle for the pecs and for the shoulder. And what this is gonna mean is that your shoulders are gonna feel a lot better when you're benching. And what that means is you're gonna be able to bench better, more frequently, and with more weight, which is gonna lead to more muscle growth. So I'm gonna show you how to do a dumbbell bench press. And we're gonna hop down here. Get a good setup right here with the weights. Get them tight to your groin right here, and you're gonna roll back in starting position. So the first thing in the dumbbell bench press that you wanna do is you wanna be squeezing your shoulder blades down and together. You're gonna press the dumbbells overhead, and you're gonna squeeze them together at the top. Now, one advantage of the dumbbell bench press over the barbell bench press is that we can push in this motion across our bodies. You can't do that with a barbell bench press, but that's an extremely important part because the chest not only extends the arm, but brings the arm in through adduction to midline. So the optimal pressing is right through here on an angle. Right down, pause, push back up. 2 other really important cues is I want you to squeeze the crap out of these handles. What that does is it activates your nervous system and all those small stabilizer muscles to really help improve the strength of your bench press. And on the way down, you want to row the weight down into your body, keeping your lats tight and driving right on up. So that is how to do the barbell bench press extremely safely. And dumbbells, for the most part, as we go through the rest of these exercises in this guide, are going to be a safer motion and option than barbells, because we can move the dumbbell through a full range of motion as opposed to a barbell, which often keeps you in a fixed bar path. So that's why dumbbell bench press on a 10% decline is one of the primary muscle builders for your chest, shoulders, triceps for you as a guy over 40. Let's go to our next exercise. All right, exercise number 2, the deadlift. It's one of the best mass builders for guys in their 20s and 30s, and it's still one of the best mass builders for guys over 40. The thing is though, with the deadlift, when we're over 40, is we need to modify the form to make it safe for our low back. Because here's the deal. As we age, the discs and the disc space in between our vertebrae and our spine become dehydrated, and that disc space shrinks. And what that does is it compresses the spinal nerves and can create a lot of pain, some of that sciatic pain and a lot of bone-on-bone action. We do not want to aggravate any of that. And here's the thing, some of this spinal degeneration is a natural part of aging. Now, to be able to do deadlifts and to reap the benefits of this amazing full body exercise, we gotta make a form tweak. So, one of the big mistakes that guys make with the deadlift is they allow the bar to stay way too far out in front of their body. And what that does when the bar is far out, here, I'm gonna show a bad setup. If I'm starting my deadlift and the bar has about a foot of space between my shin, what that does is it forces my back to be way hunched over the bar. So when I lift this weight, I'm cranking with my back. It's a lot of stress in the low back. And I come back down, it's a lot of space. Again, I'll do another bad rep just to demonstrate. Here, my back has to do the brunt of the work to get the bar off the ground, and then I can start to engage my glutes and all the other big muscles. So what we want to do instead is when we're setting up the deadlift to make it a lot safer, we want to take that bar right here, roll it straight into your shins, and sit back. So on the difference in the starting position from here, boom, right to here. I'm sitting back on the bar to the point where the bar is almost coming off the ground just from me sitting back on the bar, and my chest is upright. And I'm going to bring the bar right up, dragging on my shins all the way up. Here, boom, finishing strong here. And on the way down, the barbell comes down my legs, back to starting position. Here, same position, right back up finishing, right back down. Doing deadlifts in this manner is gonna make it so much more effective and safe for your body. Now, another tweak with the deadlift is instead of trying to max out or doing anything below 5 reps, do deadlifts later in your workout with higher reps, somewhere in the 10 to 12 range. That can make this exercise incredibly effective for mass building on your back, your legs, and your glutes. Let's move on to exercise number 3. All right, so exercise number 3 is the classic barbell row. Now, this is one of the best mass builders for your lats, for your rhomboids, your traps, and your biceps. In fact, you see all those guys in the commercial gyms doing endless hours of curls. Big arms are built from big rows and big pull-ups. So this is gonna be one of our primary motions. Now, I'm gonna show you the barbell row first. But the thing about the barbell row is when we're bent over, it can be a little hard on your low back, naturally, because we're kind of bent over in that position I was talking about, the deadlift that we don't want to be in. That's the starting position of the barbell row. Now, I'm also going to show you a variation back here with dumbbells. That's a chest supported version that's going to be a little easier. But first, to the classic barbell row. What we want to do is address the bar with a grip that's basically at shoulder width grip right here, maybe even a little inside. My spine is neutral. The first thing I'm doing is I'm pulling my shoulder blades together to create tension, and my arms are cables. My arms are just ropes. I'm thinking of them as ropes, and I'm rowing up, pause, right back down. Rowing up, pause, right back down. Up, pause, right back down. What you don't want to do is a lot of this stuff, where I'm almost using my glutes and my hamstrings. You want to stay strict with your rows, go a little lighter than you think. Here, pause, row, right back down. All the motions coming from my lats, my biceps, my rhomboids. Now, that starting position in the deadlift puts a lot of tension on the low back. So instead, we have this version here where we can use a bench right here to create a chest supported row. And this is gonna take the low back out of the equation. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get set up right here. All right, so the chest supported dumbbell row is a version where first the bench is set up at roughly a 45-degree angle here. I have my dumbbells here, I'm gonna pick them both up. First thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna squeeze my shoulder blades together, stay in this position. I'm squeezing the crap out of the dumbbells to engage the whole nervous system, and I'm rowing right up, pause, right back down. Squeezing the shoulder blades together, up, pause, right back down. Just like this. Now the benefit of this over that barbell row is that my low back is out of the equation. It's just pure back and biceps. And this makes it an incredibly effective muscle building exercise for you as a guy over 40, because we need to pick exercises that are going to be safe and that allow you to consistently progress week by week. And if you have an exercise that's aggravating your back every week, you're never really going to make the progress in getting stronger, which is a prerequisite to getting bigger and packing on mass. So this is an exercise we need to include in our program. Let's move on to exercise number 4. All right, so exercise number 4 is the overhead press. And I like this exercise a lot for a couple reasons, but one of them is because this is one of the best old school strength exercises out there. In fact, back in the day before the era of modern bodybuilding, the way we used to gauge how strong people were was how good they were at overhead pressing. And the reason that they knew that this exercise was so good is because it's a great mass builder for your shoulders, your triceps, and to do an overhead press correctly, you need a very strong core. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to show you how to do a barbell overhead press. And I'm going to show you why, as a man over 40, it's not necessarily the best exercise to be including into your routine, because it does put a lot of stress on the low back. And instead, I'm going to show you a dumbbell variation that's a lot more effective. But first, with the classic overhead press, we rack the bar right to here, squeezing hard, shoulder width grip, pressing right overhead, maintaining a nice neutral spine, right on down. And at this position, if you have good mobility in your shoulders, this can be an okay exercise to do. It does take a strong core. I'm keeping my core extremely tight, because if I don't, it's going to put a lot of tension on my low back. Now, another problem with this exercise is that the bar stays in a very fixed path. My shoulder has to stay exactly in line with the bar. And this is one of the reasons why dumbbells are a lot more effective for getting a safer shoulder building motion. So we have set up a seated bench here that's going to take the back out of the equation. So we're going to get set up with the dumbbells, and I'm going to show you how to do a dumbbell shoulder press with a couple tweaks to make it a lot more effective for your gains. Let's move over. All right, so the dumbbell variation. It's going to be a dumbbell shoulder press, but we're going to make a couple tweaks to the form to make this even more effective. First thing, weights are right here on your legs. We're going to kick them up one at a time and get into good position. Boom, boom. Now what I want you to do is, instead of flaring your elbows out really far like this, it creates a lot of unnecessary stress on the shoulder, I want you to tuck your elbows a little bit. And we're going to press overhead. Dumbbells touch, come right on down. Maintain this position. What I don't want you to do is drop too low. This point right here, there's no tension on my shoulder. The tension shifts to my lower traps and other muscles. We want to maintain right here. Boom. Press overhead, right on down. Up, right on down. Up, right on down. Pause, press right up. Now, that quick pause when you're doing this, that quick pause at this position, what it does is it removes all the momentum from the exercise. All of our muscles have something called a stretch reflex. When the muscle's maximally stretched, it wants to rebound out of that stretch, and it gives you a little extra oomph. So at the bottom of a bench, you have a stretch reflex that's going to push you right up. We have that with the shoulder press too. On the bottom, it makes you want to fire out that hole. To contract the muscle harder, we want to remove that stretch reflex. We don't want that mechanical help from the stretch reflex. So the way we do that is we come down and we pause right below the point where we get that stretch reflex rebound and create tension in the shoulder, and then the shoulder mechanically has to do all the work to get right back up. That is one way to make the shoulder press a lot safer and harder on your shoulders, because we want to work the muscles, not hurt your joints. Let's go to exercise number 5. All right, so we saved the best for last. Exercise number 5, the squat, which is perhaps the king of all muscle building exercises, because squats are not just a leg exercise. To do a squat properly, every muscle in your body needs to be engaged. I'm going to show you how to do barbell squats and ways to make it a little safer on your shoulders and your low back. However, I'm also going to show you an alternative using some kettlebells that's incredibly effective for putting size on your legs without putting the load on your back. Because here's the thing, with a barbell squat, we have that bar loading on the top of our spine. But our human spines, especially as we get older, are not designed to carry heavy weight on our necks. So the problem is that, remember I told you how those discs, that disc space decreases as our discs dehydrate as we get older, doing a barbell squat that loads that spine with all that compressive force can cause some problems. If your back is fine for squats, this is something you will want to include in your routine. But even if it is fine, I still want to show you this kettlebell version of a kettlebell front-loaded squat that's incredibly effective for your quads. But first off, classic barbell squat. Get set up here. The first thing I want you to do is to get your hands, when you're holding this, a slightly wider grip. Why? Well, this is definitely a tighter position on the squat that keeps your back really tight. However, as we get older, this can cause some problems with the shoulder. A wider grip is a little more shoulder friendly. I want you to take a step out, and the cue I teach all the guys when they're doing squats is you want to feel like you're sitting back in a chair. Your knees will track a little bit over your toes, but you're going to be still sitting backwards. So first thing, deep breath in, butt comes out, sitting back in a chair, down to parallel right to here. Firing right back up through the heels, glutes come through. A couple more reps, down, pause, fire, boom, right up, down, pause, fire, right back up. Good. And so we're definitely getting to parallel in that squat, but we're not necessarily going ass to grass right here. We're stopping at a position that's nice and comfortable right here, firing right back up. So, barbell squats, like the deadlift, as we get older and we're over 40, is not something you want to be maxing out on. This is an exercise that you want to be doing in a higher rep range, somewhere in the 10, 12, 15 to 20 reps. Legs respond extremely well to high volume and high rep work. In fact, some of the best programs I did back when I was a professional competitive bodybuilder is I would do high rep leg training work. 20 rep sets, and you can see picture over here. I had some pretty big legs, and the reason is legs work well in high reps, and that's good for you because we can use a lighter weight for higher reps. That's the barbell squat, but one other option we have to put some good size in your legs while being safe and not loading the spine is using these kettlebells right here. So I have my primate chimpanzee kettlebells here, and I'm gonna load them right up here on the front. Now, in this position, I am almost like in a front squat where the weight's in front of me, it's not on my back. And that's good because it's really gonna force my quads to stay extremely engaged. So same position, core's tight, heads up, squeezing the kettlebells. I'm sitting back down right to here, boom, firing right back up. Boom, right here, firing right back up. And it might look easy, but you get some 40-pound kettlebells in each hand, and staying upright here, it's gonna give you a great core workout while putting size in your legs. High reps here, boom. Another trick with these high rep squats is to do continuous tension, non-lockout reps, meaning we're not stopping between reps, we keep constant tension in the legs. We're moving constantly, just like this. There's no pause. And what that does is forces a lot of blood into the muscle, gets you a great pump, and that's gonna help increase the muscle growth. So I hope you found this exercise training series valuable. These are core muscle building exercises that need to be a part of your program, and I wanted to lay out everything you need to know in this training video.
FitFatherProject.com.
I hope you found this video very valuable. If you're a guy over 40 that's looking to pack on some muscle without adding fat to your body and really just get strong again, then I highly recommend you check out our Old School Muscle Building Program, which is a program that we designed specifically for guys over 40 to cover the proper training, the proper meal plan, the proper recovery and supplementation. Because here's the thing, as effective as exercises are on their own, and knowing how to make these tweaks to the best exercises to keep them safe is good, but those exercises need to be in the context of a proven periodized plan that moves your body through all the stages of muscle building and gives you the eating and the recovery factors to actually build the muscle. If that's something you're interested in, our Old School Muscle Building Program is incredibly effective, and it's designed specifically for you as a guy over 40, so I know you're gonna wanna check that out, and I think you're really gonna like what you see. There's information on that below on this page as well. Here's the thing. We are the Fit Father Project, and we're on a mission to help men build muscle, burn fat, and stay strong and permanently healthy for their families. So as we're getting to know each other over the next couple days, I'm gonna be sending you 3 free training videos on some of my best muscle building secrets when it comes to the principles of the Old School Muscle Building Program. 2, exactly how to eat to fuel your gains and not gain fat when you're a guy over 40. And 3, the main muscle building pitfalls and mistakes that guys make. So I'm gonna be sending that to you as a little welcome to the tribe gift to help you get some results with this muscle building stuff and show you what we're all about here at the Fit Father Project. So scroll below, hop into Old School Muscle if you want to get started on fast results and you're an action taker kind of guy. And otherwise, keep an eye out for some of the emails I'm going to be sending you and me and my team on those best muscle building videos. I'll talk to you very soon, my friend.